As the international community reels from the shocking discovery that the sudden pauses in aggression are part of a coordinated effort among the enemies of the United States, NATO, and global allies, the U.S. military begins a thorough assessment of the situation. U.S. military intelligence, along with its NATO and global allies, closely examines the evidence, seeking to understand the motives behind the enemy's coordinated actions and the potential implications for global security. In high-level strategic meetings, military leaders share their findings and work together to develop a comprehensive plan to address the growing threat posed by the enemy's newfound unity and coordination. The U.S. military, with the support of its allies, dedicates significant resources to intercepting and deciphering enemy communications, hoping to uncover crucial information about their plans and intentions. In response to the emerging threat, the United States, NATO, and global allies begin to mobilize their military assets, preparing for any potential escalation in hostilities. As the world watches in anticipation, leaders from the United States, NATO, and global allies reassure their citizens that they are taking the necessary steps to counter the coordinated efforts of their enemies and maintain international stability. In this critical moment, the United States, NATO, and their global allies must demonstrate unprecedented unity, determination, and resolve in the face of this emerging threat. Want to see more? You can now binge-watch all episodes of our series on our website. Get started today and explore the potential of the next world war. Faced with a previously unthinkable coordinated effort by their enemies, the United States, NATO, and global allies' military command is forced to regroup and determine the next steps to combat this alarming situation. High-ranking military officials from around the world convene in a secure location, their mission to devise a strategy capable of addressing the imminent threat they've dubbed the worst-case scenario on an apocalyptic level. The assembled military leaders share intelligence, discuss the capabilities of their respective armed forces, and exchange ideas about potential strategies and tactics to counteract the unprecedented alliance of adversaries. As the discussions progress, tensions run high, and the pressure mounts to formulate a plan that will effectively protect the world from this coordinated assault on peace and stability. Military planners and strategists work around the clock to develop contingency plans for various scenarios, understanding that time is of the essence and that any delay could have catastrophic consequences. Recognizing the importance of clear and effective communication in coordinating their efforts, the United States, NATO, and global allies employ the skills of communications specialists and interpreters to ensure that all parties understand each other's intentions and objectives. After hours of intense deliberations, the military leaders reach a consensus, agreeing on a unified plan of action designed to neutralize the threat and protect their nations from the potentially apocalyptic consequences of this coordinated enemy offensive. With a plan in place, the international leaders project confidence and determination to their citizens, reassuring them that the United States, NATO, and global allies are more united than ever in their commitment to combating this unprecedented threat and preserving peace and stability on the world stage. As the United States, NATO, and global allies grapple with the reality of the coordinated enemy offensive, the extent of the damage becomes alarmingly apparent. Damage and battle assessments reveal that military forces across the Allied nations have sustained damage far beyond immediate or practical repair. Military personnel work tirelessly to evaluate the condition of their equipment, infrastructure, and resources. The harsh reality sets in that the enemy has managed to cripple the very foundations of their defenses, leaving them vulnerable and with limited options. In response to this dire situation, high-ranking military officials convene emergency meetings, urgently strategizing to find ways to overcome the devastating impact of the enemy's coordinated attack. Engineers and technicians are mobilized, working around the clock to salvage whatever equipment and infrastructure they can. They face the daunting task of restoring their military capabilities as quickly as possible, knowing that time is not on their side. In this moment of crisis, military personnel demonstrate remarkable ingenuity and resourcefulness, collaborating to find innovative solutions and workarounds that can help restore their forces' strength and resilience. Military convoys are dispatched to transport much-needed supplies, equipment, and personnel to affected areas. The logistical challenges are immense, but the determination of the United States, NATO, and global allies remains steadfast. Despite the severe damage, the Allied forces continue their training exercises, adapting their strategies to make the best use of their limited resources. They must be prepared for any eventuality, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. International leaders address the challenges head-on, assuring their citizens and the world that they remain committed to rebuilding their military capabilities and defending their nations against the coordinated enemy offensive. The road to recovery is long and fraught with uncertainty, but the United States, NATO, and global allies are united in their determination to overcome this unprecedented crisis. Together, they face the challenge of rebuilding their military forces, knowing that the survival of their nations and the future of the world depend on their success. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay informed about the latest World War III worst-case scenario episodes. Thank you for watching. To stay up to date with our latest releases, all you've got to do is follow us across our various social media platforms. We're talking Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, we're there. Thank you for watching our channel. There's a whole lot more where that came from. Interested in binge-watching all episodes today? Head over to our website to access our entire media library using the URL link in the description. Ready to test your World War II knowledge? What were the VI and V2 during World War II? Provide your answer or response in the YouTube comment box below. Stay tuned for the right answer. The answer is, these were the names of German missiles. In light of the updated assessment and the realization that their military forces have been crippled by the coordinated attacks, the United States, NATO, and global allies' military central command make the difficult decision to direct their forces to pull back and regroup. Soldiers on the front lines receive orders to withdraw from their positions and return to their bases. The decision to pull back is not taken lightly, but it is a necessary measure given the circumstances. As military forces regroup, efforts are focused on repair and recovery. The men and women serving in the armed forces work diligently to rebuild their strength, knowing that the future of their nations hangs in the balance. With their forces in a weakened state, military strategists from the United States, NATO, and global allies gather to discuss alternative strategies and plans. They must devise new tactics to counter the unprecedented threat posed by the coordinated enemy offensive. Despite the setbacks, soldiers continue to train and adapt to their new limitations. Military leaders understand the importance of maintaining morale and ensuring their troops are as prepared as possible for any future engagements. Political leaders from the United States, NATO, and global allies address their citizens, reassuring them of their unwavering commitment to national defense and their determination to rebuild and strengthen their military forces. International leaders come together to discuss collaborative efforts. In an effort to resolve the escalating crisis, President Joe Biden of the United States decides to pursue diplomatic efforts with his counterparts in Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. President Biden gathers his top advisors to discuss the best way to approach these diplomatic efforts, understanding that the situation is highly sensitive and must be navigated with great care. Diplomatic envoys from the United States are assembled and briefed on their respective missions, each tasked with opening channels of communication with their assigned country's government leaders. President Biden reaches out to other world leaders, seeking their support and collaboration for his diplomatic initiative. The goal is to build a strong coalition to address the coordinated threat and seek a peaceful resolution. The American diplomatic envoys arrive in Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, engaging in high-stakes discussions with government officials in an attempt to find common ground and de-escalate the situation. As news of these diplomatic efforts spreads, the international community watches with bated breath, hoping for a positive outcome that will prevent further escalation and restore stability to the global stage. World leaders remain in close contact throughout the process, engaging in virtual conferences to discuss progress and share information as the diplomatic efforts unfold. As the diplomatic efforts continue, citizens around the world watch and wait, hoping for a positive outcome that will bring an end to the crisis and ensure a more stable and peaceful future. Just 24 hours after initiating the diplomatic efforts, the United States, NATO, and global allies receive a chilling communication from Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. The message unambiguously conveys the collective disdain these countries have for the United States and its allies, making it clear that they have no interest in halting the conflict. In response, the military conflict escalates rapidly, reaching a point of no return as the adversaries push forward with their coordinated aggression. The international community is left in shock as the situation spirals out of control and hope for a peaceful resolution fades away. The stage is now set for an unprecedented global confrontation, with the fate of nations hanging in the balance. Want to see more? You can now binge-watch all episodes of our series on our website. Get started today and explore the potential of the next world war. Arm yourself with the power of advanced AI for video creation, high-quality copy generation, a diverse range of freelance services, top-notch hosting options, and the ultimate online privacy protection. Don't miss out on exclusive discounts and promotions. Sign up today by clicking on the links in the description. Your journey towards creating compelling content starts now.